Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Music Mondays podcast. I'm your host, Dom Slays. Welcome on in, my friends. Happy Monday. How we feeling? This is episode 236, and I'm your host, Dom Slays. What's cracking? What is cracking? Another Monday, another week, my friends. I believe this is our last episode in July, which is kind of crazy, but not really. I mean, I feel like July was pretty steady, to be honest with you. So, no gripes or anything. But we got Ghost in the chat. What's cracking, Ghost? How we feeling? What's going down? Happy Monday, my friend. You guys know the deal. Let's get into it. So, like I said, this is episode 236 of the Music Mondays podcast, and I'm your host, Dom Slays. We're gonna dive into some weekly recap jazz. We're gonna talk about what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so. We're gonna talk recruiting jazz. We're gonna talk SoundCloud and YouTube stuff and all that good shenanigans, and then we're gonna dive into some reactions and reviews. You guys know the dealio here. So let's get into it. All right, what happened at Music Mondays over the course of the last week or so? What's new? What's cracking? What's going down here at Music Mondays? So per usual, Music Mondays basic logo t-shirts are available and in stock right now. We still have smalls, mediums, and larges available. $20 flat, including shipping, United States only. So definitely let us know if you'd like to purchase one. Send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email. We still have a few in stock, and we'll be putting out a post for that relatively soon when it comes down to merch and updates and whatnot. But again, definitely send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email. Let's see here. So, outside of that, every single Tuesday following the live show of the Music Mondays podcast, you can actually view the high-quality version of that week's episode on our Patreon. That is available over there on our Patreon for download purposes. You want to record it, you want to archive it, you want to do anything with it, is available early on our Patreon before it goes live anywhere else. So definitely go check that out. And a huge shout-out to all of our current Music Mondays Patrons. You guys are fucking wonderful. Let's see here. So that was Tuesday, heading into Wednesday. Every single Wednesday, SoundCloud Sunday submissions do open. So again, keep your eyes peeled for that. Submissions close up until the playlist drops, obviously, on Sunday. So make sure you get your tracks in every single Wednesday. And those do drop every single Wednesday. So again, make sure you follow us on socials and stay up to date when all of our submissions do go live, my friends. So, continuing on with Wednesday, we always do a little bit of audio podcast promo over there on our social media. So again, follow us on socials, stay up to date with everything that we are doing. So Wednesday is usually pretty stacked. Heading into Thursday, episode 235 of the Music Mondays podcast is available right now on all audio platforms: Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon. Wherever you listen to podcasts, we are available. So definitely go check that out. And a huge shout out to everybody that submitted and tuned into episode 235. Massive shout out to you. Let's see. So that's Thursday. Heading into Deeper Thursday, brand new YouTube upload is available right now on the Music Mondays YouTube channel, where I kind of had a little bit of a discussion segment last week where we dove into the importance of writers and underground journalism and independent journalism and things like that. So that was a pretty important topic, and actually a fun one to kind of dive into. So again, if you missed that segment, that is available right now on the Music Mondays Patreon. So definitely go check that out, or on the Music Mondays YouTube channel. So definitely go check that out. Go show that some love. And new videos uploaded there on the Music Mondays YouTube channel every Thursday and every single Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments. You guys know the deal. All that good jazz is over there on the YouTube channel. So that was Thursday. Heading into Friday, a brand new article is live by the homie M. Bischoff. Huge shout out to M, Music Monday staff writer. They actually came through with a new interview with the homie Pidge. So definitely go check that out. Go show that some love. That is a banger of a piece. A little bit of a short introduction and update with Pidge. So certainly go check that out and go show that piece some love. And all of our recent pieces, man. We've been dropping some heat over there on the Music Mondays homepage. So again, definitely go check that out and go show all of our recents some love. That was Friday. Heading into Saturday, episode 235 of the Music Mondays podcast is available right now on the Music Mondays YouTube channel. Again, if you missed the live show and you don't really prefer to listen on audio platforms, it is available every single Saturday on the Music Mondays YouTube channel in full for you guys to go record, download. You want to go throw it up on the TV or anything like that. That is available every single Saturday. So definitely go check out episode 235 on YouTube and go show all those artists some fucking love. And again, per usual, massive shout out to everybody who submitted and tuned in to episode 235. Heading into Sunday, SoundCloud Sunday Volume 197 is available right now on the Music Monday SoundCloud. That was curated by me, and the cover was done by me. Huge shout out to everybody that submitted, and huge shout out to everybody that supports SoundCloud Sunday. That is a Music Monday staple. And again, submissions do open for our weekly SoundCloud playlist every single Wednesday, so make sure you follow us on socials and stay up to date. But again, Volume 197 is available right now on the Music Monday SoundCloud, so definitely go show those artists and go show Volume 197 some love. Let's get it, baby. All right, that was Sunday. Heading into today, Monday. That is basically your weekly recap, and now we're here live with episode 236 of the Music Mondays podcast. We're here again, my friends. It's the last week of July. It is indeed the last week of July, Ghost. You're absolutely right. But yeah, we're live. We're chilling. So that's pretty much everything you missed at Music Mondays over the course of the last week or so. So make sure you follow us on socials to stay up to date with everything that we do have going on over there at Music Mondays. So let's see here. So, we did recap Jazz. Let's talk about what's coming over the course of the next week or so at Music Mondays. So, we've been yapping about the next summer event for quite some time, and good news, we're pretty much done with everything. The only thing that we do have to work on for the next summer event is flyers and graphics. That's pretty much the last step. So, once we get flyers and graphics finalized, you'll be seeing a pretty major announcement here on the show and at Music Mondays in general pretty soon. So again, that took us a while to put together, but again, there was a lot of fine details to kind of iron out. But regardless, we're here, we're done, we're chilling. So we'll have some pretty major updates when it comes down to the next events. So this week, I'm trying to pretty much crank out the rest of their graphics, and then we should be good to go. So that's pretty much everything when it comes down to the new event. So that'll be really exciting, and then we can kind of get that event started, and then we can head into Cyberfest 3. We can do another album, and we can do all sorts of stuff, right? So, and then we have the Music Mondays Awards at the end of the year. So lots of cool stuff coming, definitely, but I just want to make sure that we actually had it like completely organized, right? So that's like the big update when it comes down to our next summer events. And then per usual, all of your monthly and weekly content will be staying the same. So you'll be seeing a lot more YouTube uploads when it comes down to Feature Friday, Workshop Wednesday, the breakdown, and a lot of our other YouTube series that we do on like a month-to-month basis. So again, you'll see a lot of those kind of get updated throughout the rest of the summer as well. So that'll be exciting. And then again, a lot of our playlists will be coming back outside of SoundCloud Sunday. SoundCloud Sunday obviously isn't going anywhere, but when it comes down to Across the Pond, Underground Classics, the breakdown, the monthly, a lot of those other playlists over there on SoundCloud that we do, those will be returning as well. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled over there on SoundCloud and again on our social media to stay up to date with all of our monthly content. And then of course our weekly content will be staying the same. Articles every Friday. Obviously we have the show every single Monday. Submissions open for the show every single Tuesday. Wednesday we have SoundCloud Sunday stuff. Thursday is a YouTube media day, so you guys know the drill. The weekly content will be staying the same. But as far as the monthly stuff goes, we're going to be cranking in a little bit of extra content when it comes down to our monthly schedule. So that'll be exciting. Yeah, I'm definitely excited, Ghost, for sure. Definitely. That took a while to get fucking hammered out, but, you know, it was one of those things where it just takes time. But, yeah, regardless, monthly content will be staying the same. Like I said, event stuff's pretty much finalized. Just got to do graphics. Weekly stuff staying the same per usual. So, like I said, this is pretty much like the last week of July. So, like I'm actually pretty much on schedule with where I want it to be because I wanted all that cranked out by the end of this week, which is definitely going to happen. So that'll be nice. And then we can head into August with this full event. So that'll be exciting for sure. That'll definitely be exciting. But all right. So that's pretty much everything major coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so. Of course, I'll be updating you guys here weekly on the show. And of course, per usual, make sure you follow us on social media, like I always say, to stay up to date with all of our recent drops, updates, or even if we have any kind of emergency updates or anything like that. Make sure you follow us on your preferred social media. So, let's see. We did weekly recap, Jazz. We did what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so. Let's talk recruiting. So, per usual, Music Mondays is recruiting. We are on the hunt for all of our staff roles. That includes writers, journalists, curators, designers. You want to do short form media, you want to do long form media like YouTube uploads and whatnot. Definitely send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email, and we'll be happy to have that conversation with you. Again, resume kind of preferred, but not really required. If you're looking to get your feet wet, or you're kind of new to underground independent media, or you want to see how Music Mondays works, again, definitely send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email, because we'll be happy to show some of the new guys some ropes as well. So outside of that, again, we are recruiting, and we do have a Music Mondays 2025 staff role guide on the Music Mondays YouTube channel right now, where I kind of break down a lot of those staff roles that I just mentioned in greater detail. I kind of talk about your schedule, what your content's like, and things like that. So if you're interested in any more of those roles, definitely go check out that video, or send us a message, send us a DM, send me an email, or anything like that. And like I said, we'll be happy to have that conversation with you, my friends. So, one last thing we do gotta dive into is SoundCloud exclusives. Again, Music Mondays is on the hunt for unreleased SoundCloud tracks. If you have an unreleased SoundCloud track that you'd like to have hosted and promoted on the Music Mondays SoundCloud of over 300 followers for completely free, and of course, hosted across all of our social media for completely free as well, definitely let us know. Send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email. Like I always say, we're only interested in unreleased content, so feel free to do whatever you want with the track afterwards, right? You want to go kind of upload it on streaming platforms, you want to go do a music video with it or anything like that, that also is completely fine. We're only interested in the SoundCloud version of the track. So, like I said, send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email if that's something that interests you, my friends. Same goes for YouTube. If you have an unreleased music video, AMV, lyric video, maybe you want some audio hosted on the Music Mondays YouTube channel, definitely let us know. Send us a message, send us a DM if you'd like to have something hosted on our channel of over 300 subscribers, and again, promoted across all of our social media for completely free. So like I said, send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email. Again, we're only interested in unreleased content, so feel free to do whatever you want with the drop afterwards, but we're only interested in the unreleased material for our SoundCloud and our YouTube. So again, tell your friends, send us messages if that's something that interests you or anything like that, and we'll definitely be having an update here when it comes down to a lot of our current exclusives and things like that. So but again, we're always on the hunt for exclusives, so definitely let us know. Send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email. Shit, we cranked through content there, I think. Yeah, because we did weekly recap jazz, right? We did what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so. We did exclusives, we did recruiting. Yeah, no, I think we're good. Yeah, because I have a special YouTube upload for us to kind of dive into this week anyway. So I think it's time we hop into some reactions and reviews and see what we're looking like over here on Twitter. So you guys know the deal. Let's pop open Twitter and see what's cracking over here. All right. Per usual, tweets are always in the same format every single week. The only thing that does change is the date. So again, make sure you're submitting for a show that hasn't happened yet. Again, that's very important because you'd be surprised at how many submissions we get for shows that happened even like, weeks ago, last year, a couple of years ago. So again, the only thing that changes is the date. So make sure that you're submitting for a show that has not happened yet. But outside of that, like I said, tweets are always in the same format, and they'll always read. Artists and creative submissions are open for live reviews on Music Mondays, live on July 28th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/songplays, which is here and now. If you'd like to have your, if you'd like to submit your music, artwork, fashion, or digital creation, drop your links and portfolios below. All art forms are welcome. So per usual, contrary to our name, Music Mondays, we've pretty much reacted to everything here on the show. Obviously everything from vocals to remixes to instrumentals to YouTube edits, music videos, photography, videography, unreleased merch, art concepts. We've pretty much done it all here on the show. So again, if you feel like you deserve some spotlight here on the Music Mondays podcast, feel free to drop any of your links or your portfolios, my friends. Outside of that, we do have a 3-hour show limit because, again, we are one of the only weekly live shows here on Twitch every single Monday. So, again, we like to keep the show a little bit palatable to watch back. Again, sometimes one would argue that a 3-hour show is a little bit longer to watch back, but opposed to our earlier shows where we would do like 5-6 hours, it's definitely a little bit easier to swallow when it comes to 3 hours. So, again, just keep that in mind. We do have a 3-hour show limit. Outside of that, submissions are free. They always have been free. They always will be free. But the only thing that we do ask is that you're following Music Mondays on Twitter to be eligible. Again, submissions are free. They always have been free, and they always will be free. But the only thing that we do ask is that you're following us on Twitter before you do submit. Because not only does that help spread our message and grow our following, right? But at the same time, you're paying respect to everybody else that does wait for their submissions to be reacted to every single week here on the show. So kind of a win-win. And then outside of that, you gain access to a whole wonderful, really, really friendly, talented community. So like I said, kind of a win-win. But again, that's the only thing that we do ask before you do submit. Outside of that, Patreon subscribers' submissions are played first every single week here on the show. So if you're subscribed to the Music Mondays Patreon at any tier, whether that be basic, advanced, or premium, you gain access to a whole bunch of goodies, including all of our unreleased content and access to pretty much everything before it comes out, right? But outside of that, you gain access to what's called the Music Mondays Fast Pass, which allows you, for the duration that you're pledged to the Music Mondays Patreon, have all of your submissions reacted to first here on the show before everybody else, which not only gains you the ability to kind of like be one of the first submissions that people see when they watch back the show and when they're currently watching the show live, but outside of that, you pretty much are the first face that they see, right? So super, super important when it comes down to that. So again, huge shout out to all of our current Music Mondays patrons. You guys are fucking wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Outside of that, I think the last thing that we do have to note is that submissions do close about a couple hours before the show starts. So again, you have about like 6.5 or so days before submissions close. So plenty of time. But again, a good rule of thumb is that if the show is already live, submissions are definitely closed. Just because we like to keep all of our submission lists organic and make sure that everybody kind of gets a fair spot when it comes down to the submission order and whatnot. So again, you have about 6.5 or so days to get your submissions in. So just keep that in mind. And then of course, submissions open every single Tuesday following the live show here on Monday. So for example, if you're watching the show here live, submissions for episode 237 will be live tomorrow. If you're watching this anywhere else, submissions are already open. So definitely go drop your links and all that good jazz. Outside of that, if you'd like any more detail on the Music Mondays podcast or anything like that, we do have a how to submit to the Music Mondays podcast guide on the Music Mondays YouTube channel, which I updated for 2025, where I kind of break down the meaning of the Music Mondays podcast, why we take submissions on Twitter, how the Music Mondays podcast came to be, and all that good jazz. So definitely go check that out, and definitely go show that some love. So let's see how many Patrons we do have tonight, and then we're gonna dive into the rest of the community submissions. Let's see what we got here, my friends. All right. I believe I saw like 2 or 3, I think. So we got the homie Jordan up first. Jordan taking that first place spot, and then we got Laveries. So Jordan, Laveries, okay, all right. That's how we're doing it. All right, so let's go Jordan, and then we'll go Laveries. So Jordan is on a fucking run right now. They just released their recent project, Not Now I'm Busy. And for those of you that don't know Jordan, a multi-genre, very, very talented producer and artist, like I said, has been on a fucking run in 2025, especially with all of their like early work and then everything that's led up to now. And they just dropped this massive project. And, you know, if you've been watching the show for the last couple of weeks, we've gotten quite a taste of all the unreleased before it did drop. But this week we have a brand new drop that's actually right off the fucking press. And Jordan came through with the If Plus When official music video off of their recent project, Not Now I'm Busy. So, this will be fucking nuts, because we did not get a chance to react to this at all. So I'm down. I'm absolutely down. Description per usual. Put all the good links and whatnot. If Plus When official music video. Okay, I'm down. I'm down. Alright, let's get into it. Jordan, If Plus When official music video. Let's go.
About the times it felt like running in place. Remind me about the times I had that look on my face.
The edit on this is crazy.
Before this comes a silence where I find things to say. Sometimes it looks like I've been lost where I'm hiding away. Just waiting for my time, don't care how long it takes. When I get my way, remember this day, this day. Felt like I was driving with my windshield frosty, trying to figure out if I lost the road, I'm moving top speed. I went into this knowing that it was not free, now look what it cost me. Not everyone pays, I didn't expect to feel better for days. You know I move at a varying pace. You see me up at a very high place. I face the sun that's warm on my face, and now I'm back in this room where there's no time to waste. Between my ears running hot, engines ablaze. When I finally do drop, might bounce up to space. Trying to lose count of the days, laugh the whole race, laugh in the face. So remember how it was when I'm having my way. Cause if it happened today, I look back and I say, remember that day, remember that day. When I get my way, remember this day, remember this day. Remind me about the times it felt like running in place. Remind me about the times I had to look at my face. Before this comes a silence where I find things to say. Sometimes it looks like I've been lost where I'm hiding away.
Man.
Just waiting for my time, don't care how long it takes. When I get my way, remember this day, remember this day.
The whole mix of clips here is just like so on point. It is simple but clean for sure. Definitely. Definitely. Probably one of my favorites that we've reacted to on the show so far. I don't want to say maybe in like the whole project, but definitely one of my favorites that we've reacted to on the show. 100%. 100%. I think Ghost said it best too, like very simple but clean, and it fits the energy of the song. You know, this isn't really a song where you want to go too crazy with the edits anyway. I feel like this aligned perfectly with the feel of this song 100%. So, let's break this one down, man. Definitely some stuff to talk about here for sure. So, we're gonna talk about three things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the official music video for If Plus When. I think the video is definitely worthy to talk about here for sure. So instrumental, right? First off, mix is fucking great. It's you know, not really a shocker to me. It's something I always want to point out for anybody new here, but Jordan has had like this streak of like an insane run with their mixing, especially when it comes down to their instrumentals. They're so clean but so tight, and everything just like hits perfectly. Nothing like super clashy, too overbearing. Even the sound selection is great. Like nothing that I would like really adjust on the mix. I mean, there's probably some stuff that you could like nitpick at, but as far as like quality goes, the mix has been on point for such a long time, like such a long time. So first off, the instrumental mix very much on point. Instrumental Shining Star though. You know, I was thinking about this one, right? Because like I do love the drums on this. I really do love the drums on this. But I think the structure is super impactful for a song like this because it starts off so slow, very like ethereal, cloud-like, and then it fully blows into like this like cloud rap, kind of like dark rap feel, or even just almost like a little bit of like a lo-fi like hip hop kind of feel, and it's just got this like rise to it that I think hits a certain sweet spot. So the instrumental structure I think is like really underrated on this, but you could kind of argue drums as well, but I kind of want to go with structure. I'm not gonna lie to you. So for the instrumental, let's go structure for sure. Let's talk vocals though. The vocal mix is actually really crazy because I've been on this rant with Jordan and their mixing for quite some weeks now, especially if you've been tuning into the show regularly. You'll hear me speak about how Jordan's kind of like almost free with their mixing, like they just kind of mix however they're feeling in the moment and like with the style, but it's always very consistent and still like hitting that Jordan kind of sound, and it's like I said, it's still consistent, but there's small stuff that makes like a huge difference in certain in certain tracks, right? And this one in particular, right? Especially with like a lot of like the early vocal effects, and then like when the verse comes in, it's got a certain unique flavor to it that I think, you know, we watch Jordan kind of like cultivate over, so many months. I feel like they kind of like really developed that, almost like that Freebird kind of like, you're just like, I'm gonna mix this how I see it mixed for this instrumental and the energy of the song and how I want this to sound. Like I don't feel like Jordan's snicking, like really trying to like stick to like a book or like a template, which I think is really good. You know what I mean? Like really really good. So that's what I love about their vocals. But as far as like quality goes, I mean, same thing as the instrumental. Fantastic. Nothing like super clashy, too overbearing. I thought levels were good. Drums cut through nicely. Jordan sounds nice, especially in the intro and the outro and the verses. I feel like everything sounds very cohesive. So nothing that like stuck out to me quality wise that I had a gripe with. So vocal image very much on point. Um, hmm. Vocal shining star though. You really could say writing on this one, but I think the flow and cadence is up there too, though. Like the flow and cadence and delivery. I'm kind of torn between those two. Because the writing is very powerful and it's very like Jordan style, right? But I think the flow and cadence and delivery, especially in the verses, is like, whoa, it kind of like takes you back. So I'm gonna go with flow and cadence and delivery on this one, definitely. So instrumental solid, definitely a structure. Vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk about the official video. It goes hand in hand, right, right. And his mixing has really improved. Yeah, no, for sure. Especially like just like talking about 2025, like the quality and just like the stylistic choices and a lot of the small stuff has just improved like tenfold. So yeah, I agree. Um, but the official video. So again, like I said, I feel like Ghost said it best. It's simple but very clean, and you kind of want this vibe for a song like this because it's not very high energy. It's definitely backed with like a lot of emotion and purpose, but it's not like in your face, like, pump up kind of track at all. So I feel like the visual really really matched well with this, and that's the first thing that I noticed like off rip. So that's one of the things where I was like, yeah, this is really like, it's like this for a certain purpose, right? And I feel like Jordan kind of nailed it for like something like this, because like I said, very ethereal, and just like having like the sun shot with like Jordan kind of like peeling behind the trees, and like the way it's cropped right there is crazy. It's fucking crazy. So I feel like the concept itself, Jordan really nailed it. I don't think I mean, you obviously could have done something like quote unquote better, but for like what this is, I feel like it's like very much on point. Like 100%. 100%. No question. Cuz like, like I said, if you do a little bit too much for certain videos, right? It can really like throw the song off a bit. And I feel like Jordan really really fucking nailed this one. But the shining star here, I feel like it's probably going to be the editing. I feel like the editing is fantastic, right? Like this whole first half is really crazy to look at. And then when like the other clips come in, it really brings it to like a whole new level of like, you almost like watching it back through like Jordan's lens, of just like older clips, studio clips, clips from like, maybe the winter. So this whole montage here, I feel like was again kind of like the cherry on top, so to speak. Definitely. Definitely. So Shining Star I think is definitely gonna be the editing for sure. 100%. Well done, my friend. Well done. That was fucking fantastic. Jesus Christ. Huge, huge shout out to the homie Jordan. Thank you so much for the submission. Much, much love. Make sure you go sub to Jordan's channel, man. They're only 9 subs away from 50, so make sure you go show them some love over there on the tube. And of course, make sure you go follow Jordan on Twitter. They are 3 followers away from 420, so make sure you go show them some love over there on the Bird app. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 330 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you show these artists in the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. And if you already have, thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. We got Laverius in the chat. Let's fucking get it, baby. Welcome on in. Happy Monday. Hope you're well. What's cracking, my friend? How are you feeling? Okay. So, you guys know the dealio. We left off with the homie Jordan. Up next is our last, but certainly not least, patron of the night, the homie, speak of the devil, Laverius. Came through with another live performance video. Now, again, Laverius, another artist who's been on a fucking tear, especially during the summertime, right? Capitalizing off of their recent project releases and then kind of following up with more singles. And now we're diving into like a show footage kind of era, right? So the last reaction was a single, and we reacted to some more show footage the week before. So I'm excited to dive back into Laverius show footage. This will be fun. This will be really, really fun. Now, we've reacted to Birds of a Feather, but we're gonna react to the whole performance because it's a complete, like a completely different vibe for sure, 100%. And we had a really good conversation about this the last time, so I think we can absolutely have another good conversation for sure. We got recession proof. Yep. Links, we love that. Simple but effective description, for sure. All right, I'm down. Let's get into it. Laverius, A Birds of a Feather, live in Charlotte, North Carolina on July 14th, 2025. I've yet to see this. All right, so all of us are putting our eyes on it for the first time. I'm down. Let's get into it.
I'm smoking on this green. Let me make a toast. I'm rolling with my team. You know I came with ghosts. I'm on the way, go get a check. I don't mean to boast. I need new Tesla on my body. That's another ghost. So much smoke in the party, but I'm seeing clear. Go get a check, then slide right back, fly out and disappear. Laverius Gucci in this thing. Now you see me in here. Cheaping up, circulate, baggy babe. She wanna bring up friends, you know I had to stay. Birds of a feather flock together, baby. Told her to do better, but I know we cannot. Yeah, you know I'm cooking, baby. Yeah, you want the recipe. Say that she addicted, baby. Call me methamphetamine. Too deep and I don't see no one. I might just have to ventilate. I might just have to. So much smoke in the party, baby. Won't you come participate? So much smoke in the party, baby. Won't you come participate?
Okay.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yes, sir.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my most recent track I just dropped. I got new stuff coming soon. Laverius, L-U-V-A-R-I-E-Z on all platforms. Thank you very much for coming out tonight.
Let's get it. Holy shit. First week I went, everybody had tracks without backing voice. So I had to level up. Yeah, okay. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. And it sounded good too. Like, I feel like these shows for you are gonna be like such a really good way to get your reps up, like I said the last time. Let's talk about it though. Let's dive into it. So like I said, we've already reacted to Birds of a Feather, but we can re-react to it here. Especially when it comes down to like the live version and, you know, having no backing vocals, and it's a little bit like of a different vibe, you know what I mean? And that can be like intimidating at first if you're not like, you know, if you're not used to it or anything like that. But as far as this one goes, I always like the instrumental, especially since we first reacted to it like a week or so ago. But when it comes down to the sound here for this performance, I feel like it was solid, you know, especially like when it comes down to just like the quality. I feel like, again, this type of performance is something to really help you like get your reps up when it comes down to live performance and being comfortable and things like that. And this one is just, again, you can tell it's like each time you're doing it, you're getting more and more confident and getting like more comfortable with the microphone and getting more comfortable with pretty much everything, which I think is, again, a huge plus for sure. But instrumental, again, sounds solid for sure. Vocals though, like I said, not having a backing track sometimes can be intimidating. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's like, oh shit. But I feel like you did good, you know? The more you do this type of thing, the easier it's gonna get, especially like it's gonna be different for like each song as well. You know what I mean? So that's going to be like a song to song basis, and that's something that you'll come to learn, which I think is really good to experiment with in some of these smaller crowds. So I'm glad you got this in early instead of like trying to like do it when maybe you like pack out a small venue or something, right? And you try no backing vocals for the first time, and it just doesn't go like the way you think it's gonna go. See, that shit would suck. But something like a little bit more intimate like this, I feel like is a really good play to like kind of experiment and see what you can get away with and see what you like and see what you don't like. You know what I mean? So vocals here again fantastic, and I like the fact that you kind of went with no backing vocals. I feel like that was a good way to like get your feet wet, so to speak, when it comes down to that. You know, feels like this will be a great way to get. Yeah, right, Ghost. Right, 100%, 100%, 100%. Right, and it's kind of like creating music, right? Like you want to do all your experimental shit now before you find your sound. And it's kind of like the same thing with shows. Like you want to do like all your experimental shit with shows now so you find out what you like and what you don't like. You know what I mean? Really good vibe at this open music. Everyone's so supportive. It seems like it. Like since you showed us the first clip of this, I knew that this type of setting was like really intimate and really like it felt very genuine. You know what I mean? And it felt like one of those places where it just is filled with people that just give a fuck about art. You know what I mean? Because you can just tell off rip, especially like with the background and like how everybody's cheering, and it's not like dead. You know what I mean? So a lot of these like smaller, low key, like you said, like open bar, open mic, open, just small halls, and literally anything and anywhere that's small is always going to be a good play. And this definitely seems like a good play for sure, 100%, 100%. That's what I really liked about it, though, for sure. Shining Star, the whole thing, the no backing vocals is definitely impressive, but the fact that you're kind of getting more looser on stage again, and each time you do it, you're like leveling up a little bit. You know what I mean? Which I think is like very, very good. That's really the whole point of it. It's best to experiment at these places, right? Because you can get away with a lot more, and you won't feel embarrassed if something fucks up, or if something's weird. It's not going to be as big of a deal as in front of like maybe like 100 people or something. You know what I mean? But if you're only in front of like 10 heads, who gives a fuck? So that's where you can kind of like practice and like really learn, again, like I said, what you like, what you don't like, what you can get away with. And then again, it's going to be like a venue to venue kind of basis anyway. So it's like, fuck it. As long as you can kind of like put on a good performance, that's all that matters, So again, something like this is going to be always really, really good to do up until you get like really comfortable with it, So well done, my friend. Well done. This shit's really cool to see. I like that. Absolutely well done. Huge shout out to homie Laverius. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go sub to Laverius' YouTube channel, by the way. They're approaching 1.1k on the tube. And of course, make sure you go follow Laverius on Twitter as well. They're only 7 followers away from 140, so make sure you go show them some love on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 330 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. Confidence is getting higher each time, right? Like, that's all you can ask for yourself when it comes down to that. And because you don't want to make it like super uptight, but you also want to like walk away with something, feel like you did a little bit better. And maybe that's not going to happen every time, but the more you do it, eventually it's gonna, so it's always going to be a good play to do for sure. 100%. But that concludes all of our Music Mondays Patreons, my friends. So huge shout out to all of our crew over there on Patreon. Huge shout out to Jordan, Laverius, TDG, Kruker, King Mark, Ryuki, and everybody else over there on Patreon. You guys are fucking wonderful, man. Thank you. Let's see here. So you guys know the dealio. We're going to go through the rest of the community submissions right now and just go top to bottom. All right. First off, I think we're kicking off with the homie Dry My Eyes, man. We're kicking off with the homie Dry My Eyes. Now, it looks like they're back in gear, man. Dry My Eyes, a multi-genre talented artist, came through with a brand new track titled Honu. All right, interesting. Like I said, the last few tracks that Dry My Eyes have submitted has just been really really interesting. It's nice to see them back. It's because, you know, it's one of those surprise, you don't really know what you're going to get in terms of like style. It could be a different style of mixing, it could be a couple of different things, you know what I mean? So I'm definitely excited. It's dropped 3 days ago, so very very new. We got lyrics in description, we love that. Directly translates to turtle in the Hawaiian language. Who knew? All right, so boom, there you go. You learn something new every day. I did not know that. Directly translates to turtle in the Hawaiian language. Shit, I'm down. Okay. Shout out to turtles, man. Let's get into it. Dry my eyes on him.
First you like, I don't have it, bitch, if I don't have it, then I ain't got it. I can do whatever I want to. You do not know what I've gone to. I never walk, I run through. Money don't talk, I'm a low fool. Stay in your shell and hold.
Oh shit.
I'm overused like Hoyo. I'm peeping and say when I come through. You do not know what I go through. Deep in the cell and I go through. Deep in the shit's where I know you. You never know. You just know what I told you. You don't understand what I told you. And you don't know how you going. Shit is like PSG. I light up the circle like D&D. I'm about to get on it like DVD.
What?
I feel like really weak. I feel like that every week. I can't write, I can't sing. But just think I'm a musician. Disgusting. I just think I wanna go is be a rush thing. When I stay up on the move, I'm never thirsty. Plus I'm not rusty. Just think I'm blessing. Think I'm celestial. Stereo. How would I tell it for without air for? Baby got some dust in it with it eyes from weather stars. I be on some million times. So you know I wouldn't be in it if anywhere.
Holy shit.
We on that flip grind like dark slides, dark guys. I'm from vacation, I send through dark sides. I spies in the nighttime, in the nighttime. Nah, you just stay by crowds. You niggas, they're robbery. My bitch, they're robbery. My wish was the operator. My will is the office, save my common place. I'm really no man, shine my eyes. Baby, go some smoke, put ashes to advertise. Maybe I'm just hopeful this session bring me back to life. Maybe I just hope that my soul be present after life. Maybe I just go with heartbreak. I roll with it that way, and I roll with it that way. I'm dope with it. Yo, hold with that. Hold with that. I'm one for that. I go rap, bitch, you don't get it at first. You like, I don't have it, bitch, if I don't have anything, I ain't got it yet. I can do whatever I want to. You do not know what I've gone to. I never walk, I run through. Money don't talk, I'm a low fool. Stay in your shell and hold up. Hear what I say, but don't hold you. I'm over yours like Hoyo. I'm keeping it safe when I go through. You do not know what I go through. I'm keeping it safe when I go through. Deep in the shit's where I know. You never know. You just know what I told you. You don't understand what I told you.
Wow. I like this vibe. I agree. Jeez. See, that one is crazy. That one is really, really fucking crazy. For a few reasons, right? But that one is like filled with emotion, except in like a different way. It's very like almost motivational at the same time that it's very honest as well. Like some of that writing was really, really insane. I was like, oh my god. Very impressive. Very impressive. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. So, we're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals. And we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Honu. So, instrumental. I love the choice. It's a very dry my eyes kind of style, like almost like fast paced, like alt pop, kind of mixed with a little bit of like lo-fi hip hop. It has a couple of different styles mixed in there, but I feel like it's perfect for dry my eyes. You know, I definitely feel like this style really suits them well. And obviously they have a vision for it when it comes to writing and how they want to sound on it. So, definitely a plus on the choice for sure. But the mix is solid. Nothing clashing, too overbearing when it comes down to the instrumental. Sound selection's good. I mean, Drums cut through nicely. Levels were good. I didn't really think anything really needed, that I really had a gripe with anyway. Um, yeah, no. I mean, personally, I like the instrumental mix. It leaves a little bit of the mud in, but it's not affecting the quality too much. You know what I mean? So, instrumental mix, definitely solid. Instrumental Shining Star. Hmm. I feel like the easy answer would probably be drums, right? But I feel like a real underrated part of this is probably the structure too, though. I feel like the structure is very, very underrated here. I just love the pace of it too, like how everything like comes in and goes out, and how everything is just layered out. I kind of want to go structure here, man. Yeah, let's go structure on this. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. Again, fantastic. It leaves a little bit of the grittiness in, but it doesn't really affect the quality. And Dry My Eyes went a little bit more like melodic on a track like this, and I feel like it fits them really well, because you still like leave in that emotion, but it still has that like X sound to it that almost is like a little bit electronic, but it's still pushing that bar a little bit, which I think is really nice, and it doesn't really affect the quality. So again, I'm a fan of the mix because, like I said, it kind of leaves a bit of the grit in, but it doesn't really mess with levels too much or anything like that. So vocal mix definitely on point, especially for a track like this, for sure. Vocal Shining Star. Now this one's tough because I mean the hook's crazy, right? The writing in general is crazy. Flow and cadence and delivery from start to finish is really solid. Um, hmm, shit. I'm kind of torn on this one. I kind of want to go writing in general though, because the writing in the hook is pretty crazy, but the writing in the whole song is fucking nuts. So let's go writing on this one for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the structure. Vocal solid, definitely the writing and lyrics. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. So, um, I love it. Simple, straight to the point. One of those like kind of like picture you accidentally take on your camera roll or on your phone camera, and you're just like, wait, that actually looks kind of hard. You know what I mean? Especially for like some of these Lucy singles, these are always a good play. Um, but something about this one leaves it a little bit more like mysterious, because it is like a little bit blurry, and it almost looks like kind of has that like analog VHS kind of feel to it a little bit. So this one's perfect, very much on point. Simple, straight to the idea, but also a really good choice for some of these like loose singles, because sometimes you don't really want to do art for it, or you're not feeling it, or whatever the case might be, right? So something like that always goes really well with it, in my opinion. So aesthetics on point. Overall theme, shout out to Dry My Eyes for this little tidbit here. So with the title, literal meaning, Honu directly translates to turtle in the Hawaiian language, and there is a line in the hook that also uses that phrase, which I think is like really fucking interesting, because I didn't know that at all. But once you kind of like keep that in mind throughout the song, you're like, oh shit, So again, it gave a little bit of that more passionate emotion, but it was also very like, fuck you, braggadocious, like I can do whatever I want kind of feel, but also like I'm very aware of myself kind of thing, So it'll strike a few chords, but I feel like with how fast paced and how high energy it is, it's gonna really drag. It's really gonna drag anyone in. To be honest with you, it's just one of those songs where it's like it perks up your ear almost, and you're just like, oh shit, So, well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to Dry My Eyes. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you go follow them on SoundCloud, by the way. They're only 6 followers away from 100. Make sure you go show them some love over there on the cloud. And of course, make sure you go follow Dry My Eyes on Twitter. They're only 8 followers away from 50. So go show them some love over there on Twitter. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We are approaching 330 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and all that good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists in the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. Alrighty, my friends. Huge shout out to Dry My Eyes, man. That was fucking crazy. Jesus. Let's see. So up next, we got the homie Sam's Raps, a very, very talented hip hop artist, has been on again quite the fucking run. I can't lie. You know, between some collab projects, their own single projects, they've been really coming at it hard, which I think is really, really fucking sick. And this week they came through with another track from the Moss and Me, and the caption, the next Moss and Me track. I'm down. Let's pop it open a new tab. I think we did like. Let's go take a look at the track list before we dive in here. So we didn't do track 1 because that was just the intro. Not just the intro, but you know what I mean. And then yeah, because we did 2, 3, and yep, and this is 4. And we still have to do 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Alright, I'm down. This one is called Anthill Karasams. Holy shit. You know, some of these titles are like such an insane play on words. I would have never fucking thought of it. Holy shit. But I'm down. I'm down. Let's get into it. Very jazzy vibe here.
Yo. So I cup the mic and do something light. Spit dope to you any way I like. They say I might, I say they right. Your girl super soaked, she spray on sight. They don't write, they stay off mics. They stay online, try to take our lines. Don't understand this shit I life. Everything I type in a way divine. Some I heard one time, they not gon' listen if you're unsigned. Cursed with a purse full of turds who shine, and a burden to work till the work is fire. You lurk,
oh my,
it can hurt and shy. Gotta earn a return of the verse sometimes. You burst online saying you're inspired. You ain't touch a pen since the birth of the guy. Got it all contorted like the shirt inside. Outside is a world where your type gon' die. Like work on my mind, I urge you to try. I surf on the words, got the tightest lines. I'll fly to your tribe, spit righteous rhymes. Put them to the light, they squirm and cry. They bugs to me, gotta magnify. Take a touch of the sun, focus at 10.
What the fuck? Holy shit.
We the ants walking 2-step uphill. Today dance in the wake of us. We facing adjacent in both pills. Swim away till the day is up. Fit a glass till the cup gets spilled. Gotta find new waves in the wake of us. We the ants walking 2-step uphill. I think our time in the matrix up. We the ants walking 2-step uphill. Today dance in the wake of us. We facing adjacent in both pills. Swim away till the day is up. Fit a glass till the cup gets spilled. Gotta find new waves in the wake of us. We the ants walking 2-step uphill. I think our time in the matrix up.
Wow. That one really is fucking nuts. Well done. I love the instrumental too. The instrumental is really crazy. Wow. We got Onwook in the chat, baby. Let's get it. I hope you're well. Happy Monday. I agree though. The pace of this is just nuts. And yeah, I agree, Ghost, for sure. I agree. It definitely goes crazy. Probably one of my favorites on the whole project so far. I mean, out of the ones that we've reacted to here on the show, that's got to be one of my favorites, or at least top 3. Definitely. But let's talk about it, man. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. So, we're going to talk about 3 things here. Obviously, we're going to talk about the instrumental. We're going to talk about vocals. And we're going to talk about the overall theme of Anthill Karasams. So, instrumental. I love the instrumental. I feel like these kinds of instrumentals and this sound in general is very like Sam's Raps style for some reason. I just feel like they just use these as like a canvas and just go fucking wild on them. So I'm a big fan of this, and it just has this calming kind of feel as well. You know, it's a very calming summer, almost like laid back, and you know, I don't want to say like lo-fi hip hop, but definitely like reels it back into that almost type of sound, you know, except it's a little bit more sophisticated. But yeah, I love the choice off rip. The mix per usual is fantastic. Nothing clashing to overbearing. Nothing I would even ultimately change on this at all. Levels were good. Quality was solid. That's not really a shocker. Usually, Sam's Raps and crew always have a really, really solid mix when it comes down to any of their collabs or single stuff or anything like that. So, not really a shocker that the mix is on point, but something you always want to point out for anybody new here, right? So, instrumental mix solid. Instrumental shining star. You know, I'm kind of big on the drums here, I won't lie, but also the melodies really bring that kind of summer feel as well. So it's like, this one's kind of tough. And I do like the structure. I feel like the structure's pretty underrated. Because you could kind of look over that if you're thinking about drums and whatnot, but I do like the structure. Yeah, this one's kind of tough. I like the instrumental as a whole, you know? Let's go drums on this one just because it keeps up the pace really well, you know, much like Onwuka mentioned. So let's go with the drums. And the sound selection's great too. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. Again, fantastic. Same as the instrumental. When it comes to Sam's Raps and crew, they always have a really, really solid mix when it comes down to the instrumentals, their vocals, and just their songs in general, right? I really feel like they always have a very consistent mix. So again, not really a shocker to us, but for anybody new here, a very, very consistent mix for sure. That's a fact. So a vocal mix, very much on point, crisp, clean, and kind of hits all the check marks. That's for sure. Vocal shining star, on the other hand. Uh, man, this one's tough. This one's tough because it's like the writing off rip is fucking crazy. I love a lot of the kind of the clever bars in here are just like there's a few things where if you're not paying attention you will miss it for sure. But that's the usual when it comes down to Sam's Raps. But so writing and lyrics are definitely up there. Flow and cadence and delivery for sure. Yeah, I'm kind of torn between those two. I won't lie, because the writing is up there. I mean, writing throughout the whole project so far, for everything that we've at least reacted to here on the show, has been very much on point. But the flow and cadence and delivery, yeah, I gotta go with flow and cadence and delivery on this one, because much like Onwuka said in the chat, like it's just the pace of it was really crazy. But writing and lyrics are definitely a close second. So, instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. The sock theme, aesthetics of the Moss and me. So like I said, the past few reactions here, I love this cover. It brings this like super summer vibe to me. You know, it almost reminds me of like my grandmother's house or something like that. Like looking at it now again on like a different day, you know, because each time, you know, you kind of get a different feel for it. But it looks like one of those things that's like it's just a very interesting kind of flower. You know, it's like something you'd see in like a country road or some shit like that. You know what I mean? So for a summer project and like how chill and relaxing this project was, I feel like the aesthetics are definitely on point and very simple. You know, didn't go too crazy with it either. So Sam's Raps at the bottom mid, the Moss and Me at the top, and then the Seal at the bottom right. I feel like it was really well done, especially for like a small EP. You know what I mean? So aesthetics definitely on point. Overall theme, like I said, the last reaction, I feel like a lot of these tracks kind of relate to each other when it comes down to nature and like the whole project is kind of a theme rather than like a track by track basis, right? So a lot of the titles will relate to each other, right? Like Sam's and the Spider, and Il Care Sam's, and Let's Discover Sam's. You know what I mean? So a lot of them are like a play on words, but this is one where again you definitely got to appreciate Sam's Raps, writing and lyrical skill on this one for sure. Well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to the homie Sam's Raps. Thank you so much for the submission. Make sure you go follow them on Spotify, and of course, make sure you go follow Sam's Raps on Twitter as well. They're approaching 1.2K on the Bird app, and of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 330 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good chats over there on the channel. So make sure you show these artists in the channel. Blah, baby, let's get it. If you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. Well done. That was a crazy submission, man. All the submissions so far have been nuts. But Let's continue on, my friends. Let's continue on. So, we left off with the homie Sam's Raps. Up next is the homie Lucha Libro, a multi-talented and multi-genre artist. Came through with a brand new. Oh no, actually, it's not a new track. Hold on, what's Lucha Libro got for us here today, man? We got something from 2024, and their caption: a Lucha version of a classic. Okay, okay. This came out May of last year, so not super new, but not super old either. But this is definitely one that we have not reacted to. Wow. Wow. All right, I'm down. Let's get into it.
Cuando yo me muera no quiero que lloren. Hago una fiesta con cohetes y flores. Ese cigarrillo me trae los morales para que me toquen mis propias canciones. Cuando yo me muera me lleva al cerro para que me velen al pie de un encino. En lugar de caja me pongan un petate y en lugar de velas botellas de vino. Si muero lejos del amor que quiero, mandar una carta y que venga enseguida para que me besen como despedida cuando ya me dejen la tierra encima.
Very raw.
Cuando ya me muera, que suelten palomas para que en sus alas se lleven mi alma. Que les dé permiso en la iglesia de Calde para que repliquen por mí la campana. Si muero lejos del amor que quiero, manden una carta y que venga enseguida para que me bese como despedida cuando ya me deje con la tierra encima.
Damn. Lucha coming through with the raw tracks, man. I love their passion for some of these like random acoustic draws that they do, man. It's so raw, but like you can tell that Lucha really like enjoys kind of doing some of their covers. But this also is a really good insight on how much Lucha has progressed in terms of mixing and like how they do things as well. Because even in just a year, I feel like you know, they've progressed so much. Like hearing this and then like hearing something recent, especially like off of their recent EP and whatnot, it's like, whoa, like the mix improved a lot, you know? So well done. But quick little acoustic track here. I like it. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. So we're gonna talk about three things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're talk about the overall theme of this track. So instrumental. Obviously very simple, straight to the point, right? Just an acoustic instrumental, but also very raw and like very in your face. But I don't think the levels were like too crazy on it. I mean, obviously, for what it is now, it's fine, but definitely one of those ones where you'd obviously go back and slightly adjust the levels and whatnot. But I don't think it's like super. Let's say I wouldn't have a gripe with it, right? But for where it's at now, solid, definitely solid. So let's see here. So instrumental mix definitely solid for where it's at. Instrumental Shining Star. Obviously the melodies here, I would say. You know what I mean? I feel like definitely the melodies, 100%. Again, it's very simple, straight to the point instrumental, so you don't want to dive in like too much, right? But so instrumental solid, definitely the melodies. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix, again, very raw and straight to the point, but it's not like super raw to where it's like overbearing, right? But again, for where it is and like when this came out, I feel like Lucha really improved so much. Even with some of this more raw acoustic style of recording, I feel like they've even, made so much progress. Absolutely. So vocal mix, again, for where it's at, definitely not too shabby. I mean, one of those ones where it's intentionally gritty, and levels wise, I didn't think it was like really anything that I could like find a gripe with, because compared to some of their more newer material, I feel like it's much more leveled out. You know what I mean? So vocal mix solid for where it's at. Vocal Shining Star. Probably the flow and cadence and delivery, I won't lie. I feel like Lucha's passion here is always like really, really like seeping through like every recording. It's just like filled with fucking passion. You know what I mean? So um let's go flow and cadence and delivery here, 100%. So instrumental solid, definitely the melodies, vocal solid, flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. It definitely an insane cover. Where it's like Lucha's head like cropped on a skeleton, and even the background's insane. Holy shit. Yeah, this is definitely one of the more ambitious covers that we've seen Lucha kind of use here, for sure. But again, it has the iconic yellow borders and whatnot, so I feel like it really works out. You know what I mean? And especially for this one, it's just very gritty and like a little bit more dark, much like the song is. So I feel like aesthetic's definitely on point. Overall theme, Lucha version of a classic, right? So I wouldn't really like dive super deep into a theme, especially if it's just like somewhat of like a cover, right? But Lucha definitely came through on this one when it comes down to passion. That's for sure. So well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to Lucha Libro. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go follow Lucha on Spotify. And of course, make sure you go follow Lucha on Twitter as well. They're only 9 followers away from 150. So make sure you go show them some love on the Bird app. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 330 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and all the good jazz is over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists in the channel some love. Let's get it, baby. Well done. Lucha Libro coming through with the emotion there for sure. That's a fact. That's an absolute fact. 100%. All right. So, we left off with the homie Lucha Libro. Up next is the homie Lil Derek, a very, very talented hip-hop artist. This came through with another visual, man. The last few weeks have been killer from Derek. Derek's just had these visuals and music videos that have just been really, really up to par. You know, I've always been a big fan of their music videos and all their visuals, really, to be honest with you. But this week they came through with I Can't Believe. Enter the Dragon visuals dropping all year long. Now, Enter the Dragon being their recent project, and now they came through with I Can't Believe with the homie Master Lee. All right, I'm down. Let's pop it open a new tab here. Let's see what we got, man. All right, let's go full volume. A little 720. 3 days ago, so this is brand new. Filmed that here. So I Can't Believe, and the rest of Enter the Dragon right there. Link in description. Love that. Comments are flooded. We love that. Shout out to everybody in the comments. All right, this will be interesting. I'm down. All right, Lil Derek and Master Lee, I Can't Believe. Let's go.
Yeah. I can't believe you did me like that. You didn't write back. I didn't like that, and now I'm right back, sipping a nightcap. I can't believe you did me like that. You didn't write back. I didn't like that, and now I'm right back, sipping a nightcap.
Damn.
She called me up at 2 a.m. What you doing? Say I ain't hit her in some weeks. Who I'm screwing? I say nobody. She say who you think you're fooling? Told her I ain't really been going out. I've been cooling. Focus on this music. She find that amusing. I'm using that as my music. Purely motivation when I find out that you got doubts about my music being the route to buy my family a house and put some food inside their mouth.
Oh shit.
So I know what to do in the drought. Trying to go viral but don't know what to do with the clout. Everything that I'm rhyming is timeless and got that in a bag like Giannis. If I'm nothing else, at least I'm honest. I'm honest.
Oh shit.
I can't believe you did me like that. You didn't write back. I didn't like that, and now I'm right back, sipping a nightcap. I can't believe you did me like that. You didn't write back. I didn't like that, and now I'm right back, sipping a nightcap. What can I say? I was feeling you. Still was fucking other hoes, you know how niggas do. I was heaty, was the only one I've been into. Let's watch some anime and roll up medicinal. Now we getting physical, let me check you out. Dr. Derek here to put this pill inside your mouth. Get your vitamin C and protein, then I'm peeling out. Oh, you catching feelings now, and I am too. Think we need to slow down, my too damn soon. I only know you for some weeks, but the way I beat them cheeks got you wondering if I'ma be your man soon and fly you out to Cancun. So sick of love songs.
Bro, what the fuck?
Sometimes the ones we hurt the most are our loved ones. forms. So Falashi is the most important love form. So everybody who did me wrong, I still got love for them, cause I love me. You said I love you first, that's why I really can't believe that you would up and leave. But since we went our separate ways, shipping up to me. So I promise you can't never come back and fuck with me.
Don't think. Feel.
Cold.
It is
Really,
like a
really
finger
cold.
Pointing away to the moon. Don't concentrate on the finger or you will miss all that heavenly glory. Do you understand?
Wow, bro. Holy shit. Holy shit. Hella fresh and lyrics popping. I agree on Wuka. I agree. You know, Derek is always a good time. Man, that one was really enjoyable. That one was really, really enjoyable. I feel like Derek was really speaking from the heart there as well. You know, there's a lot of like pretty vulnerable stuff, and Derek was just like, nah, fuck that. This is how it is. You know, like he was spitting some fucking raw facts here. Wow, wow, wow. And you know, raw facts, especially like um from like where it comes from for like that specific person, you know, because everybody's experience is different. But regardless, let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. So, we're talking about three things here. We're talking about the instrumental, we're talking about vocals, and we're talking about the official music video for I Can't Believe. Um, let's talk instrumental. A really solid fucking choice, actually. You know, Derek has a really good way of picking their instrumentals because they can go from anywhere from like boom bap to like lo-fi hip hop to like something a little bit more jazzy and R&B like. Like they have that huge range of area that they can kind of work with, you know, especially like adjacent genres. Um, so I love the choice off rip, no doubt, no doubt. But per usual, the mix is really, really solid. Nothing super clashy to overbearing. I love the sound selection. I love the patterns. Derek sounds nice on it. Levels were solid. Quality was good. Nothing that I would like ultimately switch on this one at all. Usually Derek does have a very, very solid mix when it comes to their instrumentals and their songs and the whole package, right? But still something you got to point out for anybody new here for sure. So instrumental mix solid, right? Instrumental shining star. Man, it just might be the drums, but also, you know, the melodies here were great. You know, real like classic R&B kind of feel, but with a modern twist to it as well. Um, hmm. I do like the structure as well too. I feel like structure's up there. Hmm. Shit, man, this one is tough. This one is tough. Let's go melodies though. I feel like melodies bring the energy and really kept you focused on Derek's writing. So let's go with the melodies, but I feel like drums are a very close second. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix again, fantastic, especially for Derek's style, right? Real raw, kind of like in your face hip hop, but also like crisp, clean, straight to the point. You know, nothing really affecting the quality. Drums cut through nicely. Even more so than the instrumental, I feel like Derek has a very consistent vocal mix. So definitely no gripes at all with the vocal mix at all. No way. No, not whatsoever. Definitely not. But vocal shining star though, on the other hand, shit. This one's tough, man. Cause like the writing throughout the whole track is just fucking nuts. The flow and cadence and delivery is fantastic. Man, I'm gonna have to go writing in lyrics though. There was a couple times where, you know, my jaw like, you know, visually dropped and I was like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Because Derek has some really creative but like straight to the point kind of writing, right? It's very blunt but so clever. Which I love. So let's go writing and lyrics on this one. But flow and cadence and delivery is probably a really close second, but let's go writing and lyrics. So instrumental solid, definitely the melodies. Vocal solid, definitely the writing and lyrics. Let's talk about the official music video for I Can't Believe. Much like Onwuka said in the chat, a fantastic idea, simple, straight to the point, and like this one's a little bit more creative than a lot of the microphone videos that I do see. You know, because these are starting to come back again, and you see like a lot of people doing them, but this one's a little bit more eye-catching, you know, because of the changing background and then the lyrics like under the mic, and then the, you know, small things like the MTM logo in the bottom right. And then the transitions, you know, small transitions that aren't like overbearing and it's not like ruining the edit, you know? So I feel like this is like a step in the right direction for these microphone kind of videos, you know, because everybody always does it in the street or they're doing it in the studio. It's all always the same background, you know what I mean? Derek kind of pushed it to a little bit of a different direction, made it a little bit more eye catching, a little bit more like palatable to kind of get interested in, you know what I mean? Which I really, really thought was awesome. So shining star for this is definitely editing. I feel like it was a really good idea to go this direction. And then adding the lyrics on is just another plus here. So well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to homie Little Derek. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go sub to their YouTube channel, man. They're only 3 subs away from 690. Make sure you go show them some love on the tube. And of course, make sure you go follow Little Derek on Twitter. They're approaching 3.7K on the Bird app. So make sure you go show them some love on Twitter. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you're not already. We're approaching 330 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week. Every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jams is over there on the channel. So, make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Get it. Well done. Everybody's submissions have been fucking insane tonight. I won't lie. Like, it's just back-to-back fucking bangers, man. My God. All right. So, let's continue on. We left off with the homie Little Derek. Up next is the homie Onwuka. Now, Onwuka, very, very talented hip-hop artist. This came through with a little bit of, it looks like unreleased. Wait, so Onwuka said in the caption, alright, giving Music Mondays a glimpse at our upcoming self-titled album, Track XL Icons from Insomniuka. Ah, XL Icons. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Hold up. You got some like unreleased, like kind of. Oh man. All right, so this is uploaded on Insomniac's Insomniac SoundCloud, and we have some more Insomniuka coming through. Okay. So we got some production from Insomniac, and we got Onwuka on the track. XL Icons. Shit, I'm down. Let's get into it. Holy shit.
Now we coming down like a true blue whale, and that's extra large icons. Extra large icons. Either like the way I run and can ride on any production. I'm Hollywood stunting. Tells me feed the grind, players paper heavy as a ride down. They say let the bygones be bygones. By the time they say that it's gonna grind, I'm like a bygone. Dudes will punch the lines, but never having no punch lines. Like on you ain't Levi. They kept it like the captains. Fool, you could never tag this tight tone up all the standing taller than try. Gone, baby, I'm such an extra large icon. Hold up.
Wow.
Extra large icons. Yeah, get your charges like icons can. Main, some of the Wooka. Extra large icons. Extra large icon. Extra large baller just like Zion. Let's get this party poppin' like some piper bombs. I follow it swiftly, side done. Eyesight, sun. So I can start sliding slower than a white swan on a bright pond, looking quite calm. Smooth when I go, when like when you light crumb. Keep claiming from my blameless as you vibe on. Spinning like a seamstress with a new set of night alone. And yes, yup, that means all night long. So long you wake up the next day like a bruh, man. Can't believe it, guess I left the lights on. Spinning up like a G-Nest, yeah, partner. Earthbound is what I'm not on. Out of this world, I stress the sky. I pump extra large as Galactus, extra large icon. Hold up.
Damn.
Extra large icons. Yeah, get your charges like icons can. Main, some the Wooga. Extra large icons. Extra large icons. And now I'm not talking about on your computer. I'm talking about the house of incredible skills for real. with the time and the Wooka. Extra large icons. Yeah, get your charge just like icons can. Plan his time and the Wooka. Extra large icons. Icon. I'm such an icon. I tell the truth. Don't front like I count. Y'all know what I do. I'm such an
Damn, man. Wow. Hope y'all dig it. Gonna be the final track on our upcoming album, XL Icons. Still a work in progress, though. But I think the sample's hella flames. I agree. I love the sample. Sample's really well utilized as well. It's not like throughout the whole track. It's like really almost acting as like a hook, you know? So I feel like that is like a really smart play. Well done. Wow. That was like, it felt like new, you know? It felt very like fresh, you know? Wow. All right. So let's break it down. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. We're going to talk about three things here. We're going to talk about the instrumental, we're going to talk about vocals, and we're going to talk about the overall theme of XL Icons. So, instrumental, obviously Prod Insomniac. Really solid, especially for like a work in progress and something that's not fully complete. I do enjoy the mix a lot. And, you know, Insomniac is a very like, not experimental producer, but they definitely go outside of the box and really like to kind of they have a lot of variety, I would say, right? And when it comes down to their mix, no matter like what style they're doing or genre they're blending, the mix is always very much on point. And same goes for here. Nothing like super clashy to overbearing. Nothing that I would like really have a gripe about, to be honest with you. Especially like with the sample, I definitely don't have a gripe with it at all. And again, the sound selection is great. It has a good retro feel to it. All the drums support that. Yeah, so definitely no gripes with the instrumental mix. That's for sure. Instrumental Shining Star, on the other hand, I mean, it's got to be the sample, right? Drums are up there. I feel like the drums are a very close second. Structure's up there. But the way the sample is utilized throughout the track, almost acting as like a hook, I feel like was a great fucking play. And it just gets incorporated so well. It has such a good retro 80s kind of feel to it. You know what I mean? A very summery track as well. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the sample on this one, man. I'm going to go with the sample on this one for sure. So, instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. Again, Onwuka has a really solid natural voice, right? And for their style, you don't really want to go too crazy with the mix. But as far as quality and levels go, I feel like, again, very much on point. Nothing clashing to overbearing. Drums cut through nicely. Onwuka sounds really nice on the instrumental. And again, with it being a work in progress, it still sounds really fucking solid and like very like well put together and very well rounded, right? But yeah, no gripes with the vocal mix either. No way. Definitely not. Vocal Shining Star, on the other hand, though. That's the question. You know, writing's up there for me. Writing and lyrics for sure. Flow and cadence and delivery, definitely, I feel like is up there. I mean, the hook's pretty memorable too. It's very catchy. You know, liable to get stuck in your head kind of thing. I kind of want to go flow and cadence and delivery. I won't lie. But the writing, I don't know. This one's kind of tough. Let's go flow and cadence and delivery. Just because it carries throughout the whole song. It's just like, oh shit, and it even kind of supports that retro sort of feel. But definitely flow and cadence and delivery. Writing's a close second though. So instrumental solid. Definitely the sample. Vocal solid. Definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. Obviously kind of defaulted to Insomniac's current profile picture, right? But cover art's still pending. But of course, that'll be updated once the full project is out, and I'm sure we'll be reacting to that here on the show. But aesthetics on point, obviously, for some unreleased work in progress kind of feel. Overall theme, kind of the title track for Insomniwuka's XL Icons, right? So very self-explanatory, but I do feel like Onwuka kind of took the time to really, again, expand on their writing and see how creative they could get with something like XL Icons and the phrase itself, right? Because we know that Onwuka is one of those artists that can really break down any topic super well to like a specific degree. And I feel like XL Icons is no different, but it's more modern. It's very current Onwuka, and it sounds very sharp and it sounds confident. You know what I mean? So I feel like you know, if this is any indication of what's to come for the project, I feel like the project is going to be some really like new age Onwuka, and it's going to be fucking sick. Well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to Onwuka and Insomniac. Make sure you go follow Insomniac on SoundCloud. They're only 1 follower away from 550. And of course, make sure you go follow Onwuka on Twitter. They're only 8 followers away from 730. So make sure you go show them some love on the Bird app. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 330 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists and the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. Yeah, of course, my friend. Working on the rest now. Let's fucking go. I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited for that. And thank you for the submission. Well done, my friend. Well done. Yeah, that's going to be insane to react to on the show, man. That's going to be insane. But you know the deal, chat. We're about halfway through the show, so we need everybody to get up, go stretch their legs, go get a snack, go take a break, go hit the bathroom, go do whatever you need to do. And when we return, episode 236 will continue, and we'll dive right back into the rest of our community submissions. So don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Music Mondays Podcast, episode 236. Hope you had a good break, but let's dive right back into the community submissions. So, we left off with the homie on Wuka, and up next would be the homie Jordan, but Jordan is a Music Mondays Patreon, so we already reacted to their submission earlier in the show. Definitely go check the beginning of episode 236 and go show our Patreons some love. Following Jordan, up next, we got the homie Rip Bands. Now, this is a newer artist that's been submitting recently here on Music Mondays, and they have a blend of styles here, and they've been on quite the run in terms of singles. But this week they submitted a track titled "This Time." Got an EP coming out next Wednesday on my birthday. Happy early birthday, my friend! Let's fucking get it. We love that. Let's go. All right, let's pop it open in the new tab. Let's see what we got. All right, so let's see here. All right, let's get into it. All right, so this is relatively new, I believe. Hold on, what does it say? July 18th of 2025. All right, I'm down. Let's see what we got. And a new EP next week. All right, let's get into it. Rip Bands this time. Let's go.
Yeah, baby, I'm sorry, baby, I'm sorry, baby. Told you, girl, I'm sorry, baby, I'm sorry, baby. Told you, baby, I'm sorry, baby, I'm sorry, baby. Yeah, I told you that I'm sorry, baby, I'm sorry, baby, I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean it to hurt you, baby, hurt you, baby, hurt you. Yeah, I know I fucked up this time real bad. Yeah, I know I really screwed up real bad, real bad. Can't forgive me, baby. Can't forget the things I said to you that time, baby. Can't forget the things I did to you that time, baby. Ooh, you baby, baby. Wait on me, baby. Just lay my clothes. I really ain't clean this up. Just lay my shoes. I really need to clean them up. It's blood on me, baby. I really need to clean this up. I really need to pick me up. Can't even pick me up. Can't even pick me up. Damn. Can't even pick me up like damn. I stop slurring on my words. Can't you tell I'm sober, baby, this time? Can I love you, baby? Can I love you this time? Can I love you, baby? Can I need you this time? Can I see you, baby? Can I see you this time, baby? Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. I smell like weed, baby. Yeah, I cannot help it, cannot help it, baby. Yeah, it's blood on me, baby. Let's leave my clothes, can I kiss up? I need you to pick me up. Little bitch keep playing rough. Damn, but she keep playing rough. Damn, no, she ain't love the stuff. She got that white stuff, that fucking powder stuff. That's that coke, all up in her nose. Yeah, that's that coke, all up in her nose. Yeah. She take that bitch like coke, do her like she cold. Take marshmallow, yeah. Told you I wouldn't leave you this time. Told you that I needed you this time. Told you I would stay, baby, all the time. Told you that I love you, baby, every time. Yeah, baby, I'm sorry, baby, I'm sorry, baby. Nah, I didn't mean to hurt you, baby, baby. Told you that I love you, baby, I love you, baby. Can you come and see me, baby, see me, baby? This time, 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 this time.
Well done. Well done. Quite the emotional ballad from the homie Rip Bands there. Definitely an emotional ballad for sure. But like I said, really well done, and it's very genre blending as well, right? I mean, a little bit of like R&B trap vibe, a little bit of like an alternative vibe. It's got a few mixes in there for sure, but let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. We're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of this time. So, um, instrumental, very interesting. This is one of those instrumentals you hear as an artist, and it instantly clicks or it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like sometimes certain instrumentals are meant for certain, songs and vibes, and it's very specific. And that's what this instrumental is for sure. But I do like the choice 100% because obviously you had a clear, solid idea for it. But as far as the instrumental goes, the mix is solid. Nothing like super clashy, too overbearing. Nothing I would like ultimately gripe on. Nothing that really kind of sticks out to me as like super super off-putting. I definitely think the quality's there, and it leaves a little bit of the grittiness in, which I think is a good play. For sure, for sure. But instrumental mix solid, instrumental shining star. So, um, hmm, drums are up there, melody's definitely up there, but I'm thinking structure. I feel like structure has a big part in this, and how it builds and builds and builds, and then kind of like leads up to an interesting sort of energy, halfway through the song. So I think I'm gonna go with structure on this one. I won't lie to you, Chief. I won't lie to you. So instrumental solid. Let's go with vocals. Let's talk vocal mix. Vocal mix. Again, nothing to really super super gripe over. I mean, Rip Band is obviously still experimenting with certain styles and genres and what they want to do on certain tracks, right? But as far as quality goes, nothing I would like super super gripe about on this one. Nothing like super clashy, too overbearing. Again, nothing I can really like ultimately gripe about, especially for the style that it is, for sure. So vocal mix definitely solid for where it's at. Vocal shining star. Hmm. Interesting. The hook's up there for sure. I feel like the hook is very catchy and like easily can be like stuck in your head for sure. But writing and lyrics though in general, I feel like are definitely up there too. Uh, mm, let's go with the hook on this one. I feel like the hook is what's gonna bring like new listeners back, but also like definitely get stuck in your head for sure. But let's go hook on this one. So instrumental solid, definitely the structure. Vocal solid, definitely the hook. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. Rip Band's coming through with another IRL photo, kind of like slightly edited here or there, and it has like this like faded, almost analog look again. You guys know how I feel about the IRL covers and whatnot, especially for like loose singles, and sometimes you're just not feeling an art kind of vibe. So this is always a good play for sure, especially for a single. So aesthetics definitely on point. Overall theme this time, it's a very specific one. Rip Bands is like speaking from their POV, especially when it comes to their like emotional personal life. So this is really their experience, and then if you relate to it, great. But if not, you're gonna relate to the sound of it, and you're gonna be like, damn, like this is some raw, kind of real, put it all out there kind of emotion, right? And Rip Bands, speaks on a few things out to do with emotion, right? Not just love, all sorts of emotion. So again, this is where Rip Bands was kind of laying it out on the table, and I think they did a good job. I think they did a good job. So, well done, my friend. Well done. Huge, huge shout out to the homie Rip Bands. Thank you so much for the submission. Much, much love. Make sure you go follow Rip Bands on Spotify. And of course, make sure you go follow Rip Bands on Twitter. They're only 6 followers away from 70. So go show them some love over there on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 330 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. And if you already have, thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays, my friend. Well done. Well done. Huge shout out to Rip Bands, man. Up next is a very, very talented hip hop artist that we have not heard from in a long time, actually. It's been a while since we heard from the Homie Mac 2 times in 2025, at least anyway. But like I said, a very talented hip hop, multi genre artist, Mac 2 times, came through with a track titled Jump. Let's see what we got here. I'm down. Because like I said, it's been a while since we heard from the Homie Mac, man. Let's see what we got here. Popping open a new tab. Let's see what Mac 2 Times has been up to. So 3 days ago. This is like super new. Interesting. I'm down. I'm down. All right, let's get into it. Mac 2 Times jump. Let's go.
Ask me if I feel alive, I knew I was ready as soon as I jumped out the womb. Tell me, do you feel alive? If not, then I got the mile to jump off the room. Really feel like I can fly. Know I'm the greatest the moment I walk in the room. Feel like I got a third eye, I'm seeing my future, I'm hoping you see that shit too. Think I'm addicted to pave, the way that my hand is sticking on to it like glue. Glow, I could not be afraid, I'd never be scared of the moment ain't being consumed. Bullets gon' hit him, not graze. I got the aim, red dog goes as far as the moon. Don't try me, I know that you fake. I can't be tamed, I line, I'm straight out the zoo. Can't tame me, I feel like a lion. These bitches, I know they be lying. For the love, ain't never gon' try it. For the love, ain't never gon' try it again. It's my granny back then, I was crying. It's my granny, I try not to cry again. Look down, I hope that you're proud of me. I wonder, can you see the future in Zoom? Real diamond, I'm growing from under. Whole time I can switch up to factory. My brother, I know he gon' blaspheme me. My brother, he got shit to shake up the room. Shorty ain't no PlayStation, ain't no Xbox. Please don't ever get it confused. Can never play me like a game. I'm 3 steps ahead. Poker face had you amused. Yeah, poker face had you amused. I'm taking all of my talents and put them together. I guess that I'm fused. Shooting the pucks from above, below to your room. I feel like I'm fused. Buy me up shit like the Taliban. Walk to the scene just to make sure that I'm leaving no clues. Yeah. Ask me if I feel alive. I knew I was ready as soon as I jumped out the womb. Tell me, do you feel alive? If not, then I got the mile to jump up the room. Really feel like I can fly. Know I'm the greatest the moment I walk in the room. Feel like I got a third eye. I'm seeing my future. I'm hoping you see that shit too. Think I'm addicted to pave. The way that my
crazy.
hands sticking onto it like glue. Glow, I could not be afraid. I'd never be scared of the moment ain't being consumed. Bullets gon' hit him, not graze. I got the aim, red dog goes as far as the moon. Don't try me, I know that you fake. I can't be tamed. I line, I'm straight out the zoo.
Wow. Holy shit. Mac just fucking demolished that. My gosh. Wow. Well done. Well fucking done, my friend. Good lord, what a comeback. Like I said, it's been a while since we heard from Mac 2 Times, but I expected nothing less. You know what I mean? Mac is very talented. Like I said, well done. Wow. All right. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. We're gonna talk about 3 things here. We'll talk about the instrumental. Talk about vocals. We're gonna talk about the overall theme of Jump. So, instrumental choice. I love. You know, again, Mac is an artist who has a very specific taste in instrumental, but also not really at the same time. You know, because we've reacted to them on all sorts of instrumentals, but this one's finally curated for Mac because they almost knew that their flow and cadence was just going to be smooth on this, like 100%. So I do love the choice. Mix is fantastic. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Nothing I would even ultimately change on the instrumental mix whatsoever. Sound selection's great. Patterns are great. Yeah, nothing that I would like really change on this one whatsoever, to be completely honest with you. Very well mixed. And levels are good, quality's good. Yeah, no gripes with the instrumental. No way. Instrumental Shining Star, on the other hand, the melodies are pretty crazy. The melodies are pretty fucking crazy. Very dark, but like very almost like synth-like as well. But the drums are so gnarly. The drums are really nice. Damn. Yeah, this one is kind of tough. I'm gonna go with the drums, just because they keep up the fast pace and really like kind of keep up that like high energy that this kind of instrumental needed. So let's go drums here. And even the sound selection on the drums was fantastic. So let's go drums for sure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. Mac 2 Times has come so far over the last couple of years when it comes down to their vocal mix, and now they're at a point where it's so crisp for like any type of instrumental. It's not like too overblown with effects, but also it has that crispy freshness that you'd want with your vocals, especially for Mac 2 Times style, right? So yeah, I'm big on their vocal mix. Flawless. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Nothing I would like ultimately change, especially when it comes down to levels and quality. Vocal mix very much on point, 100%. Vocal Shining Star, on the other hand, probably the flow and cadence and delivery. I think writing's a really close second. Writing and lyrics are definitely a close second, but the flow and cadence and delivery is like, whoa. You know what I mean? Like Mac sounds like a straight veteran on this, and you can tell that they've been working on their craft for you know, a very long time, but also like as of recently they've really leveled up for sure. So I'm gonna go flow and cadence and delivery on this one. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. A stock theme, aesthetics. It does have that Mag 2 Times classic cover feel to it, man. Picture the Rolls Royce. You have the jump in the top right, and then you have the parental advisory in the bottom left, and it's always like re-stretched at the bottom. That's like Mag 2 Times like fucking signature, man. But it definitely has that dark, powerful kind of high energy feel to it with the cover. But I feel like Mac definitely nailed it when it came down to this, for sure. Definitely nailed it, 100%. Overall theme, jump, I mean, pretty self-explanatory. Especially with the third eye line, and I hope that you see it too. And it's just Mac really being motivated, but also kind of like really putting it out there for the world to have a reminder. So I feel like Mac really came from the heart on this one. It was like, nah, fuck all this. Like I'm doing this shit. Whether it comes to music or life or just everything in general. So it's a very motivational kind of track. But well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to Homie Mac 2 Times. Thank you so much for the submission. Much love. Make sure you go follow Mac 2 Times on SoundCloud, by the way. They're only 2 followers away from 30. And of course, make sure you go follow Mac 2 Times on Twitter as well. They're only 8 followers away from 180. So go show them some love over there on the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 330 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a lot of good jazz over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. Alrighty, we left off the homie Mac 2 Times. Up next is would be the homie Laverius actually, but Laverius is a Music Mondays Patreon. So we've already reacted to their submission earlier in the show. So make sure you go check out the beginning of episode 236 and go show our Patreons some love, baby. Up next, following Laverius, is the homie Braden. Now, Braden, a multi-genre talented artist, has came through with a brand new single. I'm kind of like a clairvoyant. Now, Braden, again, is another artist who's had a stellar 2025. Lots of smaller projects, full-length project, collabs, bunch of singles. They've really had an awesome summer, in my opinion. But this week, they came through with a brand new single, so I'm down. Let's pop it over a new tab and see what we got. All right. Let's see. July 21st, so quite literally only a week old, like straight right off the press, 100%. I'm kind of like a clairvoyant. This will be very interesting. I'm down. All these have been good again. Yeah, no, killer show tonight, to be honest with you. Like a really killer show tonight. Like no duds at all, to be honest with you. I mean, we never really have any duds, but it's just been very consistent. Like very consistent. But I'm down. Let's get into it. Braden, I'm kind of like a clairvoyant. Let's go.
I know that we got these problems that we deal with. It's so mellowed out, I've been floating to the ceiling. Damn, that's how you feel then. I can't believe I really saw you as a real friend. That girl, she followed me and threw me in the deep end. She was trying to fuck and now she's saying that it depends. I ain't fucking with no bad bitches. Feels like I'm in a game and it's the last inning, or like the last round. I feel like pain the way I've been wearing my mask out. You left me trapped outside in the cold. I got nowhere to go. Either way I gotta go and run on my pesos. Coming up a flow. I said fire fuego. They do what I say so. I said fuck a payphone. Okay, yo, these bitches ringing all the bells. I got room on my DNA that shit been up in my cells. And you know how it feels to be trapped. I just feel like I cannot be myself when you're around. Fuck. Bitch, I'm about to spit some real shit. These hoes know that I'm for real, bitch. I know that we got these problems that we deal with. It's so mellowed out, I've been floating to the ceiling. Damn, that's how you feel.
Damn.
I can't believe I really saw you as a real friend. That girl, she followed me and threw me in the deep end. She was trying to fuck and now she's saying that it depends. I just feel like I cannot be myself when you were around. I just feel like I cannot be myself when you were around.
Goth boy, get.
I remember we was driving on the highway.
Oh my.
But that shit felt like a Friday. Go your way, never my way. I didn't know where you were, stuck up in my brain. I still remember when I moved on.
Wow.
Some qualities that you need to improve on. If I see you talking shit about me, you remove on sight.
That was insane. That was fucking insane. Oh my god. I was not expecting that switch up either. Also, sorry to not have been active in chat. I'm dying a bit. Now you Ghost. You're all good, Ghost. No worries. No worries. I hope you feel better, my friend. Even you just being here is always a pleasure. The switch up though, and we got Offspring Mysterious in the chat. Welcome on in, my friend. Happy Monday. I agree. The switch up was fucking nuts. I was like, oh my god. But like even like the first half was crazy. Wow. Wow, this is one of the most ambitious Braden songs that we've heard in a while. It's such a good mix of styles too, like the fast paced like pop drums mixed with like the acoustic kind of style, but it's just different. It has this sort of flavor to it that's like, wow, I haven't heard anybody mix these styles in quite some time. Well done. Well fucking done. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. We're going to talk about three things here, my friends. We're going to talk about the instrumental, and we're going to talk about vocals, and we're going to talk about the overall theme of I'm Kind of Like a Clairvoyant. So, man, oh man, oh man. Instrumental is crazy. Instrumental is just fucking crazy. But speaking strictly on the mix, nothing clashing, too overbearing. I thought the levels were solid. Braden sounded good. Nothing that I could like really gripe about on this one at all, to be honest with you. Especially for how much is going on and the switch up and when you consider the structure. I'm big on the mix. I'm definitely big on the mix for sure. So nothing that I would like really gripe about when it comes down to this. But instrumental Shining Star on the other hand, man. I mean, it has to be the structure, right? I feel like the drums are definitely up there, but the fucking structure's like catches you off guard, and the random GBC tag in the middle. Like I thought all of it was like really well put together. So I'm gonna go with the structure on this one. Definitely, I'm gonna go with the structure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix again, fantastic. Brain's another one of those artists that I talk about where their mix kind of depends on the style of song that they want to do in the instrumental and really what they're feeling that day. But regardless, you can rest assured that it's definitely a solid quality mix, and that's what this is here, 100%. Nothing super clashy, too overbearing. Nothing I could really like super gripe about on the vocals at all either, especially when it comes down to levels and like overall quality. You know what I mean? So, vocal mix very much on point for where it's at. Vocal Shining Star. I mean, the flow and cadence and delivery is like really impressive. Like throughout the whole track, even like with the switch up, but the writing's up there too. I feel like the writing was very honest as well. But I'm gonna go with flow and cadence and delivery on this one. I feel like Braden kind of really slid on this. Really fucking slid on this. So instrumental solid, definitely a structure. Vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. This is a cover that we've reacted to a few times here, or maybe it's like a different version or something like that. Like maybe am I faded? Yeah, okay, yeah. So it's the same cover as 3 Joints as well. Okay, and one of their other songs as well. But regardless, this is one of those ones again where you take an IRL photo, especially for like a single. You spruce it up a bit. Maybe throw like a filter or two on it, or you just kind of take like a screen grab. And stuff like this always works really well for kind of like loose singles, especially if you're not feeling art, you don't feel like making it, you don't really want art for the vision, sometimes you just don't want to use art. These are always a good play, for sure. So, aesthetics definitely on point. Overall theme, I'm kind of like a clairvoyant. Braden touches on a lot here. I felt like this is a little bit more of like a personal song for them, but also kind of like a true test of their writing and lyrical ability when it comes down to their flow and cadence and delivery on certain instrumentals like this, and they really slid on this. I was like, oh my god. So this is definitely one where you gotta appreciate Braden's kind of versatility when it comes to their styles and their writing ability in general, to be honest with you. So well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to the homie Braden. Thank you so much for the submission. Much love. Make sure you go follow Braden on Spotify, and of course, make sure you go follow Braden on Twitter as well. They are only 6 followers away from 10, so make sure you go show them some love on their new Twitter account over there on the Bird app. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 330 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you. We see you dropping likes, dropping comments, all that good jazz. Anything else, even if you're just viewing the videos, my friends, thank you. Okay, so you guys know the deal. Let's get back into it. We left off with the homie Braden. That was a fucking crazy submission. Absolutely. And up next, we got the homie Offspring Mysterious, a multi-talented producer, artist, engineer, writer, designer, editor, videographer, quite literally all of the above. Offspring came through with a brand new YouTube upload. And as of recently, their YouTube uploads with the Walking Onslaught series have been fucking fantastic. And they came through with a new upload titled Love Gnosis. All right, I'm down. We got some Love Gnosis in here. All right, let's give it a quick pause. Go 720. We got a description. So this is a month ago. We actually have not seen this one yet. Interesting. Got a link in the description. All right, I'm down. Let's get into it. Offspring Mysterious, Love Gnosis. Let's go. Heart beats, the heart wants. About to get real. Nothing is more powerful than the feeling of lust. Oh shit. What the fuck? How did Shorty get in the bedroom? Oh god. Huh. A new journey? Spellbound, the music novel. Hmm. Release date June 9th of 2025, so already out right now. Huh. Be dropping an article about my 3-year hiatus. Wow. The question will be answered. No shit. Huh. See you on June 4th. So it looks like we have some videos to catch up to then. Well done. Well fucking done. Huh. No shit. No shit. Alright. So this one's very interesting because it felt like a new arc, right? It felt like one of those videos that's like it or even like the first episode of a series kind of thing. You know what I mean? It feels like a new arc. So this will be very interesting. Very, very interesting. I'm kind of excited to see what Offspring is going to be cooking up here. For sure. Because it was a calm, kind of chill edition, but also like now I'm kind of curious on what the next few uploads are going to be like. Well done. Well done. Um, Shining Star here is probably the writing, to be honest with you. I feel like the writing and the script and the idea of this is fantastic, you know, because like I said, it felt like the first episode of a new arc or a new season or a new series, you know what I mean? It felt exciting, so Shining Star here is definitely the writing, for sure. Well done, my friend. Well done. I'm definitely excited to see what comes next. That's a fact. That's a fact. Huge shout out to Offspring Series. Thank you so much for the submission. Much, much love. Make sure you go sub to Offspring's channel. They're only 10 subs away from 250. And of course, make sure you go follow Offspring Mysterious on Twitter. They are only 2 followers away from 810. So make sure you go show them some love on The Bird at My Friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 330 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and all that good jazz over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists in the channel some love. Let's get it, baby. Alright, my friends, the grind continues. Well done, Offspring. That was very interesting. I like that upload a lot. Alright, let's see. So, we left off with the homie Offspring Mysterious. That was sick. I agree, Ghost. I definitely agree. That's for sure. That's for damn sure. Thank you as always. Thank you for your submission, my friend. Much, much love, of course. Of course. Always a pleasure seeing what is going down in the world of Offspring Mysterious. That's for sure. But like I said, we left off with the homie Offspring Mysterious. Up next is the homie Ghost. Now, Ghost, a multi-genre talented producer, has come through with another unreleased instrumental to bless our ears with. 142 BPM Lil Uzi Vert style. I'm down. Let's pop it open, new tab. Let's see what we got here. All right, so 3 minutes flat. Interesting. I don't. Let's see. Let's see. Ghost has been on a hot streak as of recently. Ghost has definitely been on a hot streak for sure. For sure. All right, let's get into it. Some unreleased Ghost. Let's go. Oh shit. Wow. Oh my.
He's so fucking crazy that it must be ghost produced.
The tag at the end was a nice touch. The tag at the end was a really, really nice touch. I love that. Holy shit. The project I'm working on with a few artists. I'll let Melody take over on this one. I love it. You did really well. You did absolutely fucking fantastic. Wow. All right. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. So, no vocals. So we're gonna talk about two things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme for this Lil Uzi Vert style instrumental. Instrumental mix, it's really fucking good. Like, the drums are very crisp, the sound selection's great. The way everything knocks, though, and the way that nothing is really clashing, especially when you consider the melodies, I feel like the mix is like, I don't think the mix could be any better, you know, to be completely honest with you. I feel like the mix is so on point. It's just very accurate. It's tight, it's well-rounded. It has, I have no gripes with the mix whatsoever. Especially when you factor in the drums, though. You know what I mean? So yeah, no real gripes with the mix at all. This one has a very clean mix in particular. So instrumental mix solid. Instrumental shining star. This one's fucking tough, man. This one's fucking tough because I like the structure, simple, straight to the point. I feel like the drums are fantastic, patterns are great, sound selection's great. But the melodies are like so iconic, and like it's one of those instrumentals that just gets stuck in your head because of the melody, and the drums just kind of like add to the energy of it. So I think for that reason I'm gonna go with the melodies. I feel like the melodies are just fucking, they're so potent and so like in your face, but they're like not doing too much to where the drums don't have a part, because the drums still have a pretty big part in this. So I'm gonna go with the melodies here, but you could really argue structure or drums, but I really like the melodies on this for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the melodies. Let's talk theme. Obviously unreleased, right? So eventually we'll be hearing the full version of this eventually, right? But it definitely hit that Lil Uzi Vert like synth heavy kind of like fast paced, high energy kind of style. You know what I mean? It's just that sort of style has this like high energy, like in your face kind of feel to it. So I really feel like Ghost fucking nailed it for sure, especially with the melodies. Like that's why melodies are the shining star here, because I feel like it's everything that Ghost wanted. It's very much on point when it comes down to like a Lil Uzi Vert style instrumental, right? Because there's always like a bunch of like adjacent styles, but I feel like Ghost really nailed it with a little bit more uniqueness than just your average type beat, right? Especially with the structure and the sound selection on the drums, it was definitely more unique. So well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to the homie Ghost. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go follow Ghost on Twitter as well. Ghost is only 8 follows away from 540. So make sure you go show him some love on the bird at my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 330 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week. Every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. Tag at the end. Tag at the beginning didn't sound right, so I left it at the end. Yeah, the end was a really nice touch for sure. And you're very welcome, my friend. Thank you for your submission. Of course. Much love. Well fucking done. All right. We left off with the homie Ghost. Up next is the homie Most Dope Kimon, a very, very talented hip hop multi-genre artist. Came through with a track titled Love Too Hard. Let's see what we got here. Now, Kimon, again, much like a lot of the Music Mondays community, has been on a fucking run as of recently. And man, Kimon is definitely on a run, you know, between their visuals and music videos, between some of their project they've been dropping recently, and then a lot of the loose singles. It looks like they dropped a 9-track project. Holy shit. Wow, 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 wow. 2025, Love Too Hard, 9 songs, 21 minutes. Well, I suppose we got to start with the first track then. For sure, we got to start with the first track. All right, hold up. Let's give that a quick pause. Yeah, like I said, I mean, Kimon's been on a fucking run as of recently, man. Like, I was not expecting a whole full-length project. I thought this was just about to be like a single or whatnot, because they dropped their recent like 4 or 5 track EP, or maybe it was like 6 tracks, and now we have another 9-track project here as well. So, wow, 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 wow. All right, I'm down. Let's get into it. Most Dope Kimon, Love Too Hard. Let's go. Instrumental comes in hot on this one. Wow. This instrumental is fucking nuts. Perfect for Kimon's style too, like, wow. What a great first song. That's a great, great first song for a project. Wow. Holy shit. Well done. Well fucking done. Wow. What a first what a first track for a full-length project, right? Like, holy shit. If that doesn't make you want to listen to the rest of the project, I don't know what will, because that instrumental comes in super fucking hard. Well done, my friend. Well done. I love the choice though of instrumental. I actually really love everything about this one. Let's break it down. Let's talk about it. We're gonna talk about 3 things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals. We're gonna talk about the overall theme of Love Too Hard. So, instrumental, like I said, I love the choice, especially for Kimon. It has like an alt pop, rap, almost plug and B kind of flavor to it, but it's mixing a lot of styles, man, and like especially in the melodies. But the instrumental mix very much on point. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Levels were good. Quality was solid. Sound selection was good. Nothing that I could like really gripe about. You know what I mean? Especially for the Kimon style. So yeah, no, I feel like the instrumental was very much on point. 100%. 100%. So instrumental mix solid. Definitely no gripes there. Instrumental shining star. I almost want to say the melodies, but the drums played such a big part too. You know what I mean? Especially the drum patterns and the sound selection for the 808. I kind of want to go drums here, man. I kind of want to go drums here. Let's go drums just because they come in super, super fucking hot. And the patterns and the sound selection are fantastic. So let's go drums on the instrumental. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Let's talk vocals, vocal mix. Again, that Kimon staple melodic style comes back, and the mix is there to support it. Nothing super clashy to overbearing. Nothing I would like ultimately switch up on this one at all, especially for like Kimon's current style and how they like to sound on certain tracks. Quality wise, fantastic levels. Definitely right where they need to be. Again, this is more of like a quality thing, and I feel like Kimon is right where they want to be when it comes down to their vocals, especially for something like that where it's like so hard and heavy hitting that I feel like they fucking nailed it when it comes down to their vocal mix, you know. So definitely no gripes there. Definitely not. Vocal shining star on the other hand. Writing's definitely up there. I enjoy the writing on this. But I think I'm gonna have to go with the flow and cadence and delivery. Kimon just like skates on instrumentals like not many artists can do, especially with like their style and like how melodic they get with it. I'm gonna go with flow and cadence and delivery, 100%. Instrumental solid, definitely the drums, vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. I love this fucking cover. It has this like Tumblr back rooms kind of feel, but it's a little bit more darker as well. You know, especially with like the hallway looking down and it's just Kimon like pasted all over the fucking wallpaper. And then you have Love Too Hard like obviously across the right side there, which I feel like was a great like full album kind of feel to it. This definitely screams project to me. I mean, you it'd be all right for an EP. It'd be okay for a single too, but this one fits really well for a project, and I'm glad Kimon went with this style because this fits it really well, and it's definitely eye catching and it's creative. You know, you know, it's hard to hit that like nice Tumblr arrow without like overdoing it, and I feel like Kimon fucking nailed this one. So aesthetics definitely on point. Overall theme of Love Too Hard. I mean, very self-explanatory, right? Like sometimes people do love too hard, whether you're any type of person, really. I mean, you know, love's one of those emotions where you got to learn how to control it, you know, for certain things, and letting it run wild isn't always a bad thing, but sometimes when you do let it run wild, you end up getting hurt and hurting other people. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where love too hard and loving too hard is a great concept to talk about, you know, because everybody has a different experience with it. And I feel like that's what Kimon got done there. So, well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to the homie Mosto Kimon. Thank you so much for the submission. Much love. Make sure you go follow them on YouTube Music, by the way. They are literally 3 subs away from 10, so make sure you go show them some love on YouTube Music. And of course, make sure you go follow Kimon on Twitter as well. We're only 8 followers away from 30, so make sure you go show them some love on the Bird at my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 330 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and all that good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists in the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays, my friends. So, that was our last submission for episode 236. You guys fucking absolutely killed it tonight, my friends. Let's close it out. Let's show some love. Let's give some shout outs. Let's talk about the next week or so. Let's get into it, my friends. So, first off, huge shout out to everybody in the chat. Even if you just lurked and chill, just want to come through and fucking kick it. I appreciate you supporting the stream. Thank you so much, my friends. Massive shout out to the homie Ghost. Massive shout out to the homie Leveris. Massive shout out to the homie On Ruka. Huge shout out to the homie Offspring Mysterious and everybody else that came through and lurked and chilled. And even if you just dropped by for a little bit, we appreciate you here at Music Mondays, my friends. Thank you. Massive shout out to everybody that submitted tonight in our Music Mondays Patreons. Huge shout out to our current Patreons, Jordan, Leveris, TDG, Kruger, Kmark, and Ryuki. You guys are fucking fantastic. Thank you for supporting Music Mondays over there on Patreon. And huge shout out to everybody that submitted tonight. Huge shout out to Drama Eyes, Sam's Raps, Lucha Libro, the homie Little Derek, Onruka, Jordan, Rip Bands, Mac 2 times, Leveris, the homie Braden, Offspring Mysterious, Ghost, and the homie Mosto Kimon. Thank you guys so much for all of your submissions. Thank you. Let's hear. So submissions will be live for next week's show tomorrow on the 29th. Make sure you follow us on social media, stay up to date when all of our submissions do go live. And you can find this episode on the Music Mondays Patreon tonight for early access and for downloading and recording purposes. So make sure you go check out our Patreon and go get some early access content. And of course, this episode will be live on all audio platforms, anchor.fm/allmusicmondays this Thursday. So make sure you go stream all the audio podcasts wherever you listen to your own podcast. And of course, this episode will be available this Saturday in full on the Music Mondays YouTube channel. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that. But like I said, we're working hard to crank out this summer event before August and make sure we actually get that kind of straightened out. But per usual, your monthly and weekly content will be staying the same. So expect a lot of the good stuff, expect a lot of surprises, expect a lot of stuff during the rest of the summer, man, because summer is just beginning, my friends. Summer is just beginning. But make sure you follow Music Mondays at All Music Mondays, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Blue Sky, Threads, TikTok, literally everywhere at All Music Mondays. And of course, make sure you follow me at Zom Slays. Follow, subscribe below, everything linked below, all the socials, all the good jazz linked down below. I stream quite literally 5 to 6 days a week, or I was doing some watch party stuff. We're going to be integrating some more speedrun content and all that good jazz. Make sure you come stop by and come kick it with the kid. But we'll be live next Monday for episode 237 of the Music Mondays podcast. And of course, I'll be live tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love you all. Take care. Be safe. Thank you for a great show. And the top 3 artists of this episode will be tweeted out as soon as the show goes off air. So like I said, be safe. I love you. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow and next Monday for episode 237 of the Music Mondays podcast. Peace, 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 peace.